You guys know what time it is. It's time to go to Savers. Let's get to it. Here we are once again in the Savers parking lot. I decided that we will just go walk around and see what's going on in the store today. It's a little later in the week, mainly because I was out of town for a few days, but hey, gonna see what they have still in the store, because you never know, you might run across some of the stuff that we saw before. Then again, we'll probably end up finding a lot of really weird, strange things. So let's get to that.
Ah, yes, another lovely cloudy day to go do a little bit of thrifting. Let's see what the store has for us today. As upon entering the store, I just happened to have walked along here and found like the strangest thing, and I don't know, is this like a lamp? Some kind of weird type of coil, like a Tesla coil or something? I don't know. Really neat. Do you like it? Creepy, creepy dolls. And all the crazy tat, including these really weird gnomes with bunny ears. Just strange. And then I came across this little SpongeBob game. Never played one of these, but I always thought it was kind of cool. It just plugs directly into your TV and runs off batteries. And then I found a tiny little Millennium Falcon. Couldn't tell what it really was in here. Maybe a bubblegum machine or something. Wasn't really sure. Thought it was kind of cool. And then I found, Cookie Monster and Big Bird. And then some more SpongeBob stuff. I think people were getting rid of their SpongeBob stuff left and right. And then I decided to dig through this bin. Neat looking little Nerf gun. Nothing really of merit in here. I just kind of started digging through, and ooh, look, plastic dinosaurs. Love dinosaurs. All the dinosaurs. And then I found this nice little case that would have been perfect for your cassettes. Ooh, and a ramen noodle bowl? Who doesn't like this? Especially with Powerpuff Girls. But nah, for that price. And then I decided to find a case of some sort. It's a nice looking old Samsonite briefcase. And then there's this kind of a faux, I don't know, alligator skin case. It's kind of cool. And then I found this ring light. These things are all over the place. Should pick one up sometime. And then I found Woody, and he looked frightened, like very frightened. I don't know why he's sitting here so frightened, but hey, he's scared. And then I found a newer Star Wars tumbler, not a bad one. And then some Minion stuff. And then I found a Beauty and the Beast thing, and I was like, what the heck is this? And it's Disney on Ice. Don't know how valuable that is, but it's cool. And then I found a weird tumbler. I thought this was actually Pokemon, but nope, just somebody put some Pokemon and Mario stickers on it. And then, oh good grief, Minnie Mouse stuff. This thing even had a swirly thing on top, which I thought was hilarious because, you know, she wasn't even standing up in it. And then I found these really strange toy, like, school bus things. I guess you just press the buttons and then it'll say, like, the numbers and letters and such. Kind of strange. And the creepiest snowman on a snow cone making machine. And then I found a lava lamp. Don't know how that works, but lava lamps are cool. And this really, I don't know really what this kind of clock thing is. Kind of like temperature, I guess. And then I found this really neat phone. Very 90s. Very, very psychedelic looking. I really like this kind of design. And then I found this, it's a iPod dock, which allows you to play your audio through it. And then I found this little Timex and Memorex CD players. They're really cool. There's this odd disc in here for singing along. And another one of these iPod stereo systems, which honestly, this one was really cool. I decided to start digging through the novels, not graphic novels, just normal novels, and I really get into this kind of stuff. They're very neat. And then I run across Twilight. Ugh, why? Hey, Michael Crichton. And then again, another Twilight. I can't get into those junk. And look, Middle Earth for Dummies. Hey, check it out. We got a bunch of 8-tracks here. I actually really enjoy these. I love finding 8-tracks in the wild because they're getting harder and harder to find nowadays. I just enjoy these things. And then I found a sports magazine that had Michael Jordan on it, which I thought was really cool. And then some odd PC game. I wasn't into that. And then none of these games were actually really anything of merit. And then I found this really odd anime that I thought maybe it was some kind of vampire thing. And then speaking of vampire things, yet a Twilight movie. Somebody burn these, please. Hey, check it out. It's another lamp. I like these lamps. And I started digging through the children's book, and the Snow White book looked like it was really vintage and old, but I started digging through the rest of these, and honestly, when it comes to the children's books, there really wasn't a lot to choose from this time. I find it really odd when I go through children's books and don't run across anything that I don't recognize, because there's a time that I just didn't get into reading children's books, and some of them just kind of passed me by, especially like throughout the late 90s and early 2000s. And check it out, guys, that weird painting's still here. Oh, and this awesome clock. I really like this clock. Ew, who wants used Rick and Morty socks? Those are disgusting. Oh, poor Thomas, all by himself. And check it out, I found some binoculars and a lamp. Those are kind of handy. And a kid's camera. And right above that was an actual mouse and some really strange, I don't know if this thing was for lighting or what it was. It was some kind of odd purplish red pink thing. And then I found a T-Rex bubble gun. Gotta love these. And found some Snoopies that were just not in the greatest condition. They're sun-worn. And bobbleheads. Ew. Bobbleheads. Yuck. Not into those. And more dinosaurs, though. And found some ponies. And digging through here, I thought I saw an HO scale caboose in here, but I can't really tell if it was a HO scale or not. Now that I actually really started looking at it, I don't think it was. But hey, more dinos. Gotta love plastic dinos. And throughout the rest of this run going through this action figure area, there really wasn't a whole lot this time around. I sometimes find really neat stuff, but this time, not as much. I did find a helicopter and motorcycle, which would make good custom pieces. And speaking of customs, I found a bunch of those core knockoff action figures, which might have been a really good buy, but I passed up on it. I really didn't need these. And then I started digging through, and I found some really cool bags of Hot Wheels. Lots of vintage stuff in here with the Matchbox, and one that looked just like Speed Racer, although it's got a number 6 on it, which is strange. I couldn't really figure out what that was all about. But I did find an old Stompers in here, which I really like Stompers. But it's the old push kind from McDonald's back in the day. And then some more little bags of just Hot Wheels. I kind of just started perusing through them all because you never know what you're going to find in these things. But the thing is, I'm after kind of specific things when it comes to collecting die-cast cars and such. So it was really cool. It was really nice, though, seeing this old dragster in here. I hadn't seen one of those since I was a kid. And then I started digging through all the guns and such, and I found this really weird customized gun that somebody had left here. It looked like some kind of retro sci-fi gun, but it had a looked like a paper towel tube used for it. And then I found the weirdest R2D2 playset. I used to have the old Micro Machine one from back in the day, but I don't know what this one goes to. It looks like a strange Hoth scene or something, but I don't know. Somebody can shed some light on this, it would really help. And then I found a dune buggy missing a wheel. And I found a box of snap ships, which is pretty cool. These aren't exactly Lego. They're really neat, though. I've run across these every now and then, and I just really never pulled the trigger on them. And I started digging through the very back here and found, hey, look, another solar bot. These things are pretty plentiful out there. If you look in thrift shops, I tend to run across at least one or two. Hey, and some more plastic dinosaurs. And then I started screwing around with this Groot toy because I didn't know whether it had like a swirling mechanism or however it worked. I just kind of snapped my fingers around it, moved it around. I thought maybe it was voice activated. I couldn't really figure out what the heck was going on with this thing because they wanted like $10 for this thing, and I was like, that's an awful lot for just a Groot. Hey, and look, speaking of which, another solar bot. It's funny though, because the configuration of the bots are always different on the front of the box. You guys remember Oregon Trail? Well, it was the Oregon Trail card game. I didn't know if it was complete, but it was kind of cool to be in there. And DuckTales Golden Books. Gotta love those. But nothing else here. And I dug around and found a really, really old toolbox, which would have worked very well for me, but I just do not have room for one of these, although it would have been an amazing thing to use for a workbench. And I found an old Apple power connector, which I think goes to an old G3 laptop or possible desktop, and some more of these crazy little electronic gizmos and doodads that I don't really know exactly what they go to sometimes, especially when there's a weird controller. But nothing of real merit here. Then I found this old RCA stack unit, which was cool because it's one of those ones that things are kind of molded together to look like an old rack system, but the top part was the only part that was actually separate on this one. And then I found a surge protector, and not a normal surge protector. This thing actually allows you to turn each individual circuit off on it, which is cool because it allows you to be able to run whatever you need to run on a computer system, and that's the way they were designed back in the day. And then I found this nice looking case, and it being a makeup case, it was very, very tempting considering I like to do a lot of customized stuff, but I was like, not right now. And then I found a CD rack, which unfortunately I don't actually have enough CDs for. And then I found a couple of chairs that look like they belonged in an old high school from when I was a kid. And then I found a motherboard and a hard drive that were way too expensive. And also found some Sony Tower speakers, which I find it really strange when you go into thrift shops and they sell these things individually. Knowing they both came in together, they should just sell them as a pair.
So I guess that's this week's run to Savers. Not a whole lot this week, really. I'm very surprised that honestly even half of that stuff was even there that I saw, which is kind of funny. But I mean, it's not even the weekend yet, so it's kind of bare out there right now at the moment. So I mean, you never know. We'll see what's going on next week when you guys tune in again. This has been Plasticon, and this is yet another run around Savers and check things out again. As the crow flies, I'll see you all later. That's it for now. Bye!